For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and today I'm here with my Spirit Halloween Express theme idea showcase. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a different type of video, but one that I think is very exciting and one that may have more parts to it and may be the beginning of a new series. Now, before I go into the actual video and show you what I have been working on, I have to give you some backstory so that you understand where all of this started. So, back when the Spirit Halloween flagship store opened, grand opening July 31st, 2021, obviously I attended, I did my walkthrough video, I got to pick up Mr. Howell, got some blueprint posters, got to hang out with a bunch of people. It was a ton of fun and I really enjoyed going. Now, while I was at the flagship store, I was lucky enough and I had the pleasure of getting to talk to Mike Kroll for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Now, if you don't know who Mike Kroll is, he's actually the ISE or theme designer, whatever you want to call it, for Spirit Halloween and has been for years. Now, I'm not going to show any pictures of him as to protect his privacy. I don't want to do that. But if you met him before, you know what he looks like, and he is the ISE designer. So he attended the flagship opening day, and I got to talk to him for about 15-20 minutes just about a whole bunch of Spirit Halloween spookiness. Now, I had to ask him a question, one that I've always had for him because he's the ISE designer, and I had to ask it to him while I got to talk to him, and that question is, what kind of software do you use when designing the themes? Now, obviously, I asked him this, he gave me the answer, and now, let's just say I've had so many more ideas onto things I would like to see happen at Spirit Halloween locations and themes I would like to see, and he told me, of course I downloaded it, and I started making up some ideas, and today, I have my first draft of an ISE design, one that I want to share with you. And if you guys like seeing my theme ideas in these 3D models, maybe I'll make a series out of it and come up with more ideas. But today I have my first one. This is done in the same exact software that Mike Kroll uses to design the actual Spirit Halloween themes, and I have designed my own 3D model of a theme that I've wanted to see for a while now. So let's take a look at my ISE design. Alright, so the name of my first theme or ISE design that I have come up with is the Halloween Express. Now, I'm going to touch on that again in a second because there's a second kind of alternate name that I have for it, but I'll touch on that in a second. As you can see from this 3D model I created in Mike Kroll's software that he uses, I've designed a Halloween train, or a steam kind of train looking thing, that could be a theme for Spirit Halloween in future years. Now, this train consists of a very retro looking front of the train with a steam engine, 3 separate carts, very similar looking to the 2013 clown train, and also a middle riser featuring a railway sign on it, and also some kind of, I don't even know really what they're called. I'll show a picture of what they're supposed to look like, but that middle riser is supposed to have those kind of arms that are in the road that tell you when a train is coming and kind of roll down. Now, in my idea, and in my ideal world, if I actually got to design this in real life, it'd be really cool if the arms actually went up and down. I think that would be really, really cool. And as you can see, right in the middle of them, there's a railway sign with that kind of circular shape to it at the top. The 3 different carts. Now, I'm going to go into detail what they are supposed to be. And the one that is all the way on the right, I'll put an arrow to it on my model. In my mind, that would be a walk-through cart. Now, as you can see in the way I've designed it, you can actually step onto it, walk all the way to the end, and then step off of it. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of things could be inside of that walk-through cart. Maybe a single animatronic could be in there, maybe just lighting and fog, but I really don't know. But honestly, I think it'd be really cool to see you be able to walk through one of the carts and then step off of it. The middle cart would feature, just as you can see from my model, just like a sort of a warehouse sort of cart that has stuff stored inside of it. It kind of looks all ripped up and kind of like it was burned up. And in my idea, there's like 2 animatronics, maybe 3, if the third one was small, like a jumping spider, I think would fit in that one. And then the cart that is all the way on the left, that is the housing for the actual head of the steam train, would probably be able to fit 3 animatronics because it was a little bit bigger than the other ones. Now, taking a look at the top of the carts, I have added some crates. I think it'd be really, really cool to see some boxes and crates thrown at the top of the carts. Maybe they would look like luggage. I think that'd be really cool, like the luggage of all the monsters that are riding on the train, and I think they'd be on there. Now, I would love to see, maybe it'd be really cool to see an animatronic actually go on the middle cart, the ceiling of the middle cart. Not really sure how that would work. You'd have to have a pretty stable frame, but I think it'd be really, really cool to see a giant animatronic on top of the train cart, and I think that would be really cool. The front of the actual steam train, where you can see that circular thing I've designed right in front of where like the steam would come out, I would imagine that probably Jack of the Spirit Halloween logo would be on there, maybe like his head, and it would kind of be a design printed onto the train. I think that'd be really cool. And then again, looking at that front middle riser, I think the train arms would be going up and down. That sort of that go on a street whenever there's like a railway. I think that would be like that, and they'd actually move up and down. And then the actual holders of them, like the kind of sticks that go into the riser, I think would have LED lights at the top that kind of flash like a train. I think that'd be really cool. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on was the alternate name. So in my mind, I would call this the Halloween Express because again, it is a train, and I would love to see it called the Halloween Express because the Halloween Factory edition for 2021 was just called the Halloween Factory, so I would love to be able to see this one just be called the Halloween Express. But I do have an alternate name. I also think that this ISE could be called Reaper's Railway, especially if in my I haven't designed it yet, but I would like to design a back theme that would match with this. That would be a rail yard that would have a bunch of kind of warehouses, warehouse carts that are all like tucked in between each other again. And then I think if I did do that as a back theme, I would love to see the front theme and the kind of the whole idea of it be called Reaper's Railway, similar to how in 2020 we had Reaper's Island Village and Reaper's Island Cave, where the front theme would be called Reaper's Railway Train, and the back would probably just be called Reaper's Railway. I think that'd be the ideal name of it if you're going to connect them again, but if you weren't, I think this would just be called the Halloween Express because it is a train. Now, taking a look at it, like I said, you could probably fit 3 animatronics in that all the way on the left cart. The middle one could probably fit 2, maybe 3 if the last one was a jumping spider, and then the one all the way on the right probably wouldn't have any animatronics. If anything, it would have 1, but that would be meant to be a walkthrough. And then the middle riser maybe could fit 2 animatronics, but if it was a really big one, maybe only 1, like a crouchy size. But ideally, I'd be able to put 2 animatronics in there, and I think that'd be really cool. Taking a look at the front again of the steam train, I would really love if you could actually implement actual LEDs right on the front of the train that actually lit up and made it look like the train was about to start moving, where it actually had like headlights. I think that'd be really cool, and that's why I designed those circles that are on the head of the train. Again, I have the steam kind of pole coming out of the train, the head of the train as well. I think it'd be really cool if they had a fog machine set up on the frame of it, that when it would actually, if anything, the speaker, if you had like a screen box, that when you walked by it actually made a train horn, and then steam actually came out of the train. I think that would be such an awesome thing to see in stores. Now, I know this looks like a pretty big theme. Even though I know that from designing this, it looks like a big theme that would take up a lot of space in the front of the store. But honestly, I think it's, if anything, slightly bigger than what the clown train was in 2013. Instead, this one has a middle riser and a head of the train on it. Again, I think this is an awesome idea, and I really wanted to design this because I had this idea a little while back when we first saw the Halloween Factory. I was like, what could we see for 2022? What could kind of go along with that? And I thought it'd be really, really cool to see a kind of vintage train brought into the theme, and something like this. This was my exact idea I had in my mind, and it was a lot of fun getting to bring it into real life and bringing it into a 3D model like this, where you can actually see how it would look. Now, I think the kind of train carts, as you can see from the design I've made, kind of look like they're either all burned up on the edge, where that's how you're looking into it, was that they all got damaged on the way there. And then another thing I wanted to touch on was you can actually see I added some tires and wheels to the carts as well. I think it'd be really cool if they had these big, like, vintage looking tires that a train would have. I think that would be really cool, and that's why I kind of put that on, and in my mind, the middle one would have 3 wheels, while the other ones only had 2, but I think that would be really cool if they had these big tires that were sort of cartoony looking, but at the same time would have matched well with this kind of vintage train idea. Again, I would love to see if you could fit animatronics on the top of the carts. If anything, I definitely would love to see just some crates and some luggage. That I like how I did in this model. I think it'd be really cool if you kind of had like bags and stuff that are on the top, and it would make it really look like the monsters on the train were taking their luggage on the top, and maybe you could even strap it on with like Velcro. I think that'd be really, really cool and adds a lot of detail to it. I think you could also throw a lot of Easter eggs in there. Maybe on the inside of the train carts, you can actually throw in signs to pass themes. I think that'd be really cool. And overall, I think you could do a lot with this frame that I've designed of it. I think you could add a lot of more to it, and you could really put in some really nice details. I think the train carts would be printed to look like they're made out of wood, and that's kind of what the cardboard would look at. And I also think there's a lot of opportunity for lighting in there, because you could throw a whole bunch of black lights, maybe fire and ice lights, all on the inside of the carts pointing down onto the animatronics, which even wouldn't be that hard to do either, because you have the frame of the carts to hide all the wires, which I think that'd be really cool. The last thing I wanted to touch on was, obviously, as we've seen in past years, the themes have had little pieces to hide wires. For example, Reaper's Island featured plastic grass to hide all the wires, and then we saw this past year in the Halloween Factory bricks and cinder blocks and kind of pieces of, I don't even really know what they kind of look like rubber, but kind of pieces of bricks. I don't really know what you want to call that, but all to cover the wires, and you use bricks to hide all the adapters and wires. I think if you were going to do this, I would use sand, fake sand, obviously not real sand. You probably could use real sand, but it would get messy. So maybe some fake plastic sand, and because it sort of matches well with the kind of Western idea, and you could definitely see this train coming out of like an old Western shop. So I would love to see actual real plastic sand or real sand be used on the risers to cover it all up. And I think it would be really, at least be used on that middle riser in the middle of all the trains if you put sand on it to hide all the wires, because it really is like a Western, a vintage train. So it'd be really cool to see some Western things thrown in there as well. Maybe some cowboy animatronic riding on the train carts. I think that'd be really cool. And overall, I think there's a lot of different animatronic ideas you could use in there. I even think clowns could fit, and like they're kind of like traveling on this train cart, and all the monsters ride this to travel throughout the Spirit of Halloween themes. I don't know, there's a lot of things I put into this. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks, but I'll probably keep working on it and keep throwing in details. I wanted to share this with all of you, and maybe if you enjoy seeing my ideas and seeing it laid out how I did in this model using Mike Kroll's actual program, maybe I'll make this into an actual series showing off my ideas for Spirit Halloween themes. I have a lot of different ones all in my head, and this is just the first one I was able to bring into real life and put it into a model. The Halloween Express or the Reaper's Railway, which one do you think sounds better? Let me know in the comments. Again, I think there's a lot of different things you could do with this, a lot of different animatronics, a lot of different pieces you could use. I'd love to see a bunch of lights, a lot of lighting in the theme, and some crates on the top, and definitely those kind of trail, I don't even really know what they're called, train kind of arms going up and down. I think that'd be really cool, and there's definitely a lot of space for improvement. But again, I want to keep working on this for the future, and I'll probably be posting some updates on my Instagram and maybe even some future videos. Let me know, do you want to see me do more Spirit Halloween theme ideas using this program that Mike Kroll told me he uses for his actual themes? Do you want me to see it? Do you want to see other ideas I have in my evil mind of stuff I'd like to see at Spirit Halloween? Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. I see you guys later for more Spirit Halloween 2021 videos. Goodbye.